A U.S. federal judge strikes down a Trump admin policy that suspended the processing of immigrant visas from 75 countries, including Antigua and Barbuda. A call for peace this afternoon with an island-wide march against crime and violence. And U.S.-based Human Rights Initiative calls for an independent inquiry into the death of prisoner Rashawn Turtle Shabazz. The news in detail starts now.
The local evening news is brought to you by Nagico, local agents Bryson's Insurance.
Good evening. Welcome to the ABS Weekend News. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you so much for joining us. A special welcome to those of you joining us right here on air and those of you joining us across our various streaming platforms. As per the norm, let's dive right into it this evening. Our top story: a federal judge in New York has struck down a Trump administration policy that suspended the processing of immigrant visas or green cards from 75 countries, including Antigua and Barbuda and most CARICOM member states. While the Trump administration had suspended the processing of immigrant visas in January of this year, arguing nationals of these countries are likely to require public assistance in the United States. The Associated Press says a U.S. District Judge, Jeanette Vargas, set aside the policy Friday as contrary to law and in excess of statutory authority. The judge ruled Secretary of State Marco Rubio exceeded his authority by issuing the policy, which runs afoul of the Immigration and Nationality Act by mandating, quote, the refusal of visas to eligible applicants without any basis in law. Vargas said the policy also undermines the congressional requirements that puts consular officers at the forefront of any visa decision. The policy was challenged by 2 nonprofit organizations, along with 11 individuals, including 6 whose family members had been refused visas. The remaining 5 are outside the country and had filed employment-based petitions to come to the United States. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department said today that the Trump administration is protecting the American people and by upholding the highest standards of screening and vetting of visa applicants, and that it would not comment on pending litigation. President Donald Trump has imposed a growing list of immigration and travel bans, mostly for people from Africa, Asia, and Latin America. More news now, because over a dozen new pieces of equipment is heading to the National Public Library thanks to the kind support of Barbuda National Ralph Mims. ABS's Rakib Aparicio was at the airport for the handover.
With the start of the 2026 academic year just days away, the National Public Library is being retrofitted with new equipment. The donation includes laptops, printers, cameras, as well as telephones. They're due to arrive here in Antigua via the VC Bird International Airport. The U.S. Air Force aircraft lands, with cargo set to bolster services at the National Public Library. Director of the National Public Library, Willis Mannix, says the donation will significantly lessen the wait times students experience for devices.
They'll be able to sit comfortably and do the research. They'll be able to print more comfortably and have their work done so they can turn their work in for different assignments that they have been given.
The library, she explains, offers year-round service to Antiguans and Barbudans.
The library is crowded every day. Every day we have a lot of students coming to the library and using the library. Somebody using a computer and they have this long wait for others to finish so they can get. So we will have enough available so that our community of users can comfortably use the computers and the other equipment.
She tells ABS Saturday's donation was made possible through the support of President of our Mims World Group, Ralph Mims. Coordinating, Mannix explains, required a year of dialogue.
We are very grateful. We are very grateful for what you have done. And as you have brought them for us, we're going to be changing the different lives of the different persons who enter our establishments. We just want to say thank you, and God continue to bless you.
On the ground, support came from the Antigua-Barbuda Defense Force. Rakib Aparicio reporting for ABS News.
Thank you so much, Rakib. In more education-related news about giving back, 150 children benefited from a back-to-school drive organized by the University of the West Indies Five Islands Campus Student Guild. And the packages were distributed to students enrolled at the Five Islands, Green Bay, and Villa primary schools. Well, packages included books, pencils, sharpeners, and other stationery. Well, we can tell you more because, meanwhile, the Guild is also on the receiving end this back-to-school season. ACT donated 3 laptops and just over $5,000 to the Guild, that's $5,000 to the Guild, to assist with its student-focused initiatives. The total donation is valued at $12,000. The Student Guild is the premier student leadership entity on the campus, and they are tasked with advocating on behalf of the student body and helping to mold them into well-rounded members of society. In other news now, a U.S.-based human rights initiative is calling for an independent inquiry into the death of prisoner Rashawn Turtle Shabazz. Shabazz died after prison officers allegedly used rubber bullets and tear gas during an operation to extract him from his cell for a medical evaluation. His father has also been demanding answers. We have more in this report.
The call for an investigation is coming from the U.S.-based implementation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The organization says the circumstances of Rashawn Turtle Shabazz's death raise serious questions about the use of force and the treatment of prisoners experiencing mental health crisis. Shabazz died on July 23rd following an extraction operation at His Majesty's prison. Officers used rubber bullets and tear gas as they attempted to reach him for a medical evaluation. Public Safety Minister Honorable Sir Stedroy Benjamin says a coroner inquest will be held. He has also said investigations are continuing into what he described as the regrettable death of the inmate. But the organization says a coroner's inquest does not go far enough. It wants an independent commission of inquiry to examine the entire operation, including the chain of command, the rules governing the use of force, and the tactical decisions made by officers. The group is also calling for Shabazz's family to have access to the autopsy, toxicology, and ballistics findings, as well as legal support. And it says if independent forensic and medical evidence finds gross negligence or unlawful use of force, those responsible should face criminal charges. Alicia George for ABS News.
More news now because a call for peace took to the streets this afternoon. The South Leeward Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Women's Ministries Department hosted an island-wide march against crime and violence dubbed End It Now. While the participants gathered holding placards with messages like "Break the cycle of violence" and "Peace is power." Members of uniformed groups and drum corps joined congregations from across the conference for the walk, which wound through several communities before ending at the Keith Lee Shepherd Recreational Park. Pastor Wayne Knowles, president of the South Leeward Conference of Seventh-day Adventists, said the march carried a message for everyone, regardless of age or gender.
Well, we are marching against violence. You see it here, end it now. This is the message for all genders, male, female, old and young. Violence against young people, violence against spouses, violence against older people. So we say to end it now and let's live in peace.
Knowles said 31 congregations took part in the march. Well, as Antigua and Barbuda strengthens its commitment to preserving marine biodiversity globally, there's a call this evening for these commitments to lead to sustained conservation efforts. We can tell you more because Antigua and Barbuda last month recommitted to the 30 by 30 global biodiversity target. Pledging countries are aiming to protect and conserve at least 30% of the world's land, fresh water, and ocean by 2030. Redonda Ecosystem Reserve Coordinator John Ella Bradshaw says Redonda and its surrounding waters as a protected biodiversity area ensures this country meets its marine targets.
Seeing that we repledged it, and I think that's totally fantastic. But what I want us to remember, let's not forget about Redonda and the work we did. Let's make sure that we made an investment in Redonda and we want to see it functioning as it should. So I think that's the message, not just do something to check a box, but be intentional with our action.
Data collection and monitoring to ensure these natural ecosystems thrive, she says, is essential. The Environmental Awareness Group is preparing for a major marine monitoring trip in October. Bradshaw says the process occurs every few years to see how marine health responds to threats like climate change.
Looking at the benthic life, the coral reef, seeing if there are any diseases, how are the fish doing, what different species of fish are we seeing, are they dropping, is it high? So we do this really extensive survey. We also do water quality testing and also some opportunistic turtle monitoring.
Well, it's time now for us to shift gears coming out of the national developments and into the weather report. And I'm pretty sure before I came on set, I heard the sound of raindrops. Well, Orvin Page is here with me this evening, and he's going to tell us how, why, and possibly maybe more. Good evening, Orvin.
Hello, Nicola, and all of you joining us here at ABS Television. Nicola, a tropical wave is moving through the islands. Will it break the hot conditions? What kind of rainfall in store for us? Please stay with us. Right after the break, we'll unpack all this and more.
The weather report is brought to you by Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection.
When the skies are clear and the winds are calm, we often forget how unpredictable Mother Nature can be. But when a hurricane strikes, it's the strength of your home that matters most. Whether you are preparing for your first storm or looking to upgrade your current protection, Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection has got you covered. Our expert team handles everything from custom design to professional installation, ensuring your home is as strong as it is beautiful. Call today for a free consultation. Leeward Islands Hurricane Protection, built strong to weather any storm.
And welcome back. More hot conditions to report. Day 9 of a persistent and prolonged heat wave across Antigua and Barbuda. There's a tropical wave, however, moving through the islands, and early this evening, we had some welcome showers. Let's hope that this wave, bringing in some convective activity with showers, will pretty much end this prolonged heat wave and bring us back to a little bit of cooling across the area. So the cloud masses just moving through the islands, seen here on satellite graphic. We could see perhaps some moderate showers coming out of this tropical wave, moving over the islands tonight and into tomorrow. And today, however, we saw generally dry conditions across the islands, not much in terms of shower activity. Meanwhile, the Atlantic Ocean, a couple of tropical waves, and I want to draw your attention to the West African coast because the NHC is identifying an area of disturbed weather that could move off or should move off the west coast of Africa on Monday and already has a 40% chance of development into a tropical cyclone. All it therefore means is that next week we have heightened chances for tropical cyclone activity in the Eastern Atlantic. Therefore, we must stay alert, stay vigilant. We're in the hurricane season, moving towards the peak of the hurricane season, and as a result, please stay tuned as this tropical wave could become a tropical cyclone over the next couple of days in the Atlantic Ocean east of the islands. Concerning the heat wave, just to remind us, hydrate often, avoid the direct sunlight, particularly in the peak hours, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Know the warning signs if you are pretty much under stress, and keep your homes cool with air conditioning if you're able to, and some fans, of course, and do not leave persons parked in vehicles, particularly pets and young children, because of the elevated risk. Today, partly cloudy skies, high temperature 34 Celsius, winds from the east, or rainfall total up to 2 o'clock this afternoon, 24.9 millimeters, or just under an inch. Tonight, look for more partly cloudy to sometimes cloudy skies or a few cloudy spells, and a high chance of showers. Some of the showers already fallen and will continue throughout the night on and off. Winds from the east, look for the low temperature around 26, 27 degrees Celsius, just about 81 degrees Fahrenheit. For tomorrow, chances for showers should dip to around 60%. Still, we could see some brief passing showers. Another round of high temperatures. Look for the sun to rise at 5:52 in the morning and set at 6:27. The winds from the east at 9 to 15 miles per hour. In terms of marine conditions, wave heights in open waters 4 to 5 feet, where the winds are coming from the east at 10 to 18 miles per hour. And for the extended forecast, you will notice that chances for showers will be moderate before it dips to low at around Wednesday. The daytime high temperature, you will notice in the low 90s, that's just around 33, 34 degrees. The winds generally out of the east increasing to around 16 miles per hour by Wednesday. And finally, expect a high tide, the next high tide at 10:02 tonight, followed by low tide at 8:16 in the morning. So Nicola, as I cross back over to you, it is with the good news. Tropical wave is going through at the moment. Let's hope it breaks the hot conditions we have been experiencing, and of course, replenish our very diminished supplies of water reserves.
Thank you so much, Orvin Page. And you know what they say, the only thing that rain stops is
the cricket.
Oh, but we're going to get back on stream because thank you so much, Orvin Page. That was a quick look. A weather update for us this evening. And it's time now for us to make a shift because we also have that sport report. And I'm pretty sure many of you are wondering, well, what's happening with the match this evening? Well, we're going to tell you all about that and more. We're looking at a 7:20 start. Stay with us. The sport report is up next.
At Nagico, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like your boat when you're at sea and you get away from everything. Your home and the security of your daughter's things. And the car that you've had for too long, but after all these years, you just can't let go. At Nagico, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
And you're done. Oh my god, this looks so nice. You are a magician, girl. Tell me, how much I have for you again? $150. Okay. I only have $130. I went to the gas station this morning.
No worries, I have eCab Tap to Pay. I can use my Android phone or Android tablet to receive payments.
Okay, girl, let me look my card. I absolutely love the fact that you're with the times.
Thank you.
Yes, girl.
Call eCab at 480-6186 or email cardservices@ecabank.com to apply for a Tap to Pay feature.
It's first to top ranking on the Old Palm Road, then back to school. We have amazing deals. $5 composition books or 6 for $24. 25% off J-World bags. 20% off backpacks and lunch kits, 15% off school supplies and bottles, 10% off socks. The back to school deals continues on school accessories. Remember, it's first to top ranking on the Old Palm Road and then back to school. At Top Ranking, high prices always get the spanking.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Sports now. The Antigua and Barbuda Falcons are hosting Trinbago Knight Riders in the 14th match of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League. Well, the Falcons won the toss and decided to field. But the latest from the Sir Vivian Richards Stadium is that the match is set to begin right now, actually, following a brief rain delay. Well, there has been no loss of overs so far. And the Falcons are 4th on the table after 2 wins from 4 matches, while the Knight Riders are 6th with 1 win after 2 matches. Meanwhile, the St. Lucia Kings climbed to the top of the CPL points table last night with a 6-wicket win over Jamaica Kingsmen in Gros Islet. Well, we can tell you more because Jamaica were asked to bat first and made 169 for 9, led by an even half-century from Casey Carty. Matthew Ford was irresistible, taking 5 for 23 from his 4 overs. The Kings then overhauled the target, reaching 171 for 4 with 10 balls to spare. Camille Puran led the way with an undefeated 81 from just 49 deliveries with 6 boundaries and 5 maximums. While Kayla White won the 200 meters in a time of 22.18 seconds at the Lausanne Diamond League on Friday, in a race which saw Jamaica's 2-time world champion Shericka Jackson failing to finish after suffering a leg injury. Meanwhile, Amy Hunt followed up her historic European Championships performance by finishing 2nd in a time of 22.32, less than a week after completing her set of 4 gold medals in Birmingham. The sprinter was on the starting blocks in Switzerland, and she edged out Nigerian Feabal Ofili in a photo finish. Zanel Hughes finished 5th in the equivalent men's race, which was won by Botswana's Olympic champion, Letsile Tebogo. A 4-time world champion Max Verstappen has signed a new contract at Red Bull until the end of 2030. Well, the move should end speculation about the Dutchman's future at the end of this season, after he had been linked with potential moves to Mercedes or McLaren. A BBC reports Verstappen was previously contracted to the end of 2028, but there were clauses in his contract that would have allowed him to leave at the end of the current Formula One season had he wanted. The announcement has been timed to coincide with Verstappen's final home race this weekend before the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort falls off the calendar. Although the deal takes Verstappen to the end of 2030, there are still mechanisms by which he could leave if performance does not come up to expectations. Well, the Dutch has won 71 Grands Prix alongside his 4 world titles, with his tally of race victories ranking 3rd in all-time F1 history after Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher. More news now. Defending champion Carlos Alcaraz is set to make his return at the U.S. Open after missing 4 months with a wrist injury. The 23-year-old triumphed at the Australian Open in January to become the youngest man to win all 4 Grand Slam titles. However, the Spaniard has not played a competitive match since April 14 after injuring his right wrist at the Barcelona Open. BBC reports the news was confirmed by football influencer Fabrizio Romano in a joint post with Alcaraz on Instagram. Alcaraz has been replaced as world number 2 by Alexander Zverev after being unable to defend his Cincinnati Open title. Rival Yannick Sinner is well clear at the top of the world rankings, having won Wimbledon in July, while Zverev won the French Open and finished runner-up at SW19. Well, the U.S. Open singles event begins on Sunday, August 30th in New York. Well, that's a quick look at our sport report this evening. As we mentioned earlier, of course, we're waiting for kickoff, we can say, or match off, because it's all about the Falcons and the Knight Riders, and we believe that that match has started. So I know you guys are all glued to your radios, or maybe you're there or heading there. Go Falcons. Let's leave it at that. When we come back, we take a quick look at regional and international developments. Stay with us. Regional news now. One man is now in prison in Guyana after allegedly attempting to falsify a claim that his children drowned during the MV Barima tragedy. Kiskadee Watch has the story.
Jermaine English of 1151 Tushin New Housing Scheme appeared before Magistrate Orinthia Smith at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday, where the charge was read to him. It is alleged that between August 17th and 18th, 2026, at the Ministry of Public Service, English attempted to commit a felony by falsely pretending that two of his children had drowned when the MV Barima capsized on July 18th, 2026, knowing same to be false. English was not required to enter a plea to the indictable charge. The prosecution objected to bail, citing the seriousness of the offense. The court also heard that English allegedly admitted during a video-recorded interview to committing the offense outlined in the charge.
When we come back, we take a quick look at international developments.
And it's celebrating, and we need a huge summer promotion. Something big, something huge, something, I don't know. I believe in you guys, but we have 1 week. One. All right, guys, let's see what you got.
My idea is the greatest of all time. What?
Listen to me. Plain.
What about Sandpiper Hotel?
Next.
Yo.
Tian?
Me win.
Hey! Bravo!
This summer, iNet and Tian Winter are giving away a brand new car. It's the iNet Hello Summer. Entering is easy. Download and use the iNet Smart Home app. Activate any 30-day all-in plan. Zero your postpaid bill, zero your iNet fiber bill, or purchase a face-off ticket, and you're in the draw. Every action gets you one step closer. The more you do, the more chances you have to drive away in a brand new Shanghai Unity iNet Hello Summer.
Sunday, August 30th, with Ghana Shore, the big one, celebrating 45 years of marriage.
Plus the Dewis,
Jamal Birthday Bash, and Coral Arc Reunion, with entertainment by Red Hot Flames.
Oh, baby, you so sweet, like a
Ghana Shore. 45 years of marriage, plus the Dewis. August 30th, at Jack Island.
3 Cylinder, King Warrior, DJ J, Cannabis Sound, Ragas, Anderson, DJ Sean, Stonewall, Pastor Cavassier, and Wooden Foot, along with a special guest artist. Sunday, August 30th, we Ghana Shore.
I saw she slip, I saw she slide on.
Sunday, August 30th, 4 p.m. until.
All going down at Jack Island.
Early bird tickets $60, $80 regular.
Special guest artist and all the call up DJ. I hold the special guest artist.
Tickets available at Kennedy Enterprises, Superpower, Royalty King, Latoya's Restaurant, Boundary Bites, and the ticketing app.
Sponsored by Kennedy's Club Limited and Billy's Food Mart.
International news now. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has said a fresh wave of U.S. tariffs on Canada is a, quote, miscalculation designed to hurt and divide us, end quote, after trade talks broke down late on Friday. Canada, he says, will match U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar, he says, from the 8th September, including levies on steel, dairy, appliances, and electronics. We turn now to the BBC for this story.
This means 50% US tariffs on a range of Canadian goods will now come into effect. American representatives said Canada had declined to finalise a trade deal and accused Ottawa of, as they put it, continuing its retaliation against the US. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney said progress had not been enough to meet Canadian objectives. He said the US tariffs would be matched dollar for dollar. The US accounts for roughly 70% of Canadian exports.
Well, that's how we wrap up the Saturday edition of the ABS Weekend News. I know many of you are glued to the scores. Of course, the score right now, 27. That's the Trinbago Knight Riders. They are batting, and the Falcons are actually fielding. I'm getting all sorts of reports coming to me from across the studio. So do have yourself a wonderful evening. I'm Nicola Barito. Have a good one.